Gazda here, rate of change, homework 19, here we go. Homework 69, Mr. Gazda here. Here we go. Here we go, homework 24. Hello, Mr. Gazda here, 214. 45, everybody, Sun's Path coloring. Applied Physics, homework 72, Mr. Gazda here. Gazda here, homework 96, let's do this. Homework videos. I've been doing homework videos in my Earth Science and Applied Physics classes for 3 years now. I've worked through some of the bumps. There was certainly a learning curve at the beginning, but 3 years in, I have a pretty good system, and so I'm going to describe how it works. So, give students a homework, a traditional homework like I would always give. They're told to go home, do their best with it, but when they're done, they go to YouTube and they watch a homework video that I filmed for that particular assignment. And that video is just me sitting at my desk. It's a video of my hands and that same homework that they have and me talking over it. And I really describe how to do every problem. If they have to look stuff up in their notes or in a reference table, or if there's math problems, I really work through it. And it's really, sort of, I explain my thought process of what, hopefully went through their head as they were doing it. As they watch the video, they are to check their answers, mark the correct ones correct, and mark the wrong ones with an X, and once they're done, to the top of the paper, they write the number that they've gotten wrong. Now, I tell students that if they go home and they're stuck on parts of it or stuck on the whole thing, they just were spacing in class, they just have no idea how to do it, I say use the videos then. Sit down and watch them. I don't care at that point that I'm basically giving them the answers or whether they're copying off me. So I really want to impress upon them that these videos are a learning tool for them. Use it to help them learn. And if that means they should watch it at slower speed or re-watching sections, watch it twice, whatever it may be, it is a tool for them to learn. That is a key part to this. So, when the homework is due, they come in, they hand the homework in. But on that day, there's a homework quiz. Now, the homework quiz is not meant to be super difficult. It's just basically, did you get what was on the homework? And if you made any mistakes, hopefully, you mentally corrected them, and then you'll get those right on the quiz. The way the grading works, for me, the way I have it now is each homework's worth 50 points, the quiz is worth 30 points, and the homework worth 20 points. So it's 60% of the quiz is on the quiz, 40% for the homework itself. And that can change depending on your class or grade level or your population. As a matter of fact, this year, I have a pretty good group. And based on the population that I have, I kind of adjusted that mid-year. So now homeworks are worth 40 points, 30% quiz, 30 points quiz, 10 points for the homework itself. So now we're talking more of a 75%, 25% mix, and that's really been working well. So coming up, let's watch an example of a typical homework video and how it goes. You guys here, homework 53, latitude, longitude, color, and you need colored pencils. Color as directed below. Pay close attention to the examples. Make sure you know the know it information, as there will be a quiz on this, so this is stuff you need to know. So, number one, know it. Latitude lines are flat or horizontal on the map. So I'm going to highlight that because that's important. So, latitude lines are these right here. These are all your latitude lines. Okay? Some people think lat, flat. That might help. So, what we're going to do, first thing here is color the 30 degrees south latitude line blue. Okay, and we're going to do that. So, blue, 30 south. This is 30 south right here. And that's blue. Next up is color the 60 degrees north latitude line yellow. We're all comparing all of this latitude to 0. Okay, that is the equator. Okay, so what are we doing? 60 degrees north latitude line yellow, which is right there. That should be yellow. And then the 75 degrees north latitude line brown, that is this one, brown. Okay? 2, know it. Longitude lines run up and down on the map above, or vertical. Longitude. So, longitude lines are these. Knowing the difference between them is key. Make sure you know it. Come up with a way to know it. Again, flat really helps people. And we're going to color the 60 degree east longitude line orange. So we're comparing it to 0 here. So these are east of 0. This is called the prime meridian is 0, and these are all west. So what are we doing? 60 degrees east, and we're coloring it orange, and it's this one right here. Okay, and now moving on to the bottom one. This is this diagram here. Use red to color over 0 degrees longitude, which is the prime meridian. Now, this is a unique picture in that, look at the numbers here. The perspective, this is the prime meridian. It's barely even on the page, so it's kind of off to the side. Okay, so be careful of that. Use yellow to color over 0 degrees latitude, which is the equator. You see that right here. And again, just having more and more practice of you just getting in there and drawing on these different types of maps to get latitude, longitude down. Some students really have trouble with it. You need to get this down. 30 degrees north latitude line has been darkened. Use blue to color over the 30 degrees south latitude line. Okay, so that's north, and then blue is the 30 degrees south, which is this one here. Okay. This one. So we've seen some examples of the homework video works, and I want to go back a bit and talk about why I started doing this in the first place and some of the benefits I've seen having done it now for 3 years. For my first 12 years plus of my career, I just gave traditional homework, and I always felt that it was lacking in that students weren't really learning from the homework, and I wanted it to be a better experience, learning experience for them. And the homework videos really help with that. I felt before that if a kid left the room and they knew 60% of the material, they would go home and get 60% of it right on the homework. And I wanted to try to get a way to rectify that, and the homework videos would really help for that. Number 2, I wanted students to know immediate feedback of how am I doing this? How well do I understand it? I would often collect homework, and I would ask a kid and say, how'd you do on it? How do you think you did? And they would say, I don't know. They really didn't have a sense of it. Or worse yet, you'd have that kid, maybe a struggling student, who would say, I think I got all this right. I really get this. And then you grade it, and they got 45% of the work right. So they really didn't have a sense that they didn't really know it. Homework videos can really help with that. I want students to, number 3, I want students to learn from their mistakes. Now, traditional homework, I would collect it and give it back a day later, 2 days later, and then I would go over it and realize any mistakes that they make on the homework will have all that time to sink in. Now, the idea is that they're like immediately corrected the mistakes, so it doesn't have all that time to sink in. So it helps with that. 4, many times students would get home and they would basically sit down and say, I don't know how to do this. And it could be just parts of the homework, it could be all of it. They could just get stuck. And I would hear from students and from parents that the kid sitting home wants to do it, just is completely stuck. The parent may not be able to help them. And the homework videos really help with that. I think so many times teachers, and I'm guilty of it, you teach it once or twice in class and you expect the kids to know it, and that's not really how learning works. They don't know all of it, and I don't want them to go home and be stuck and be frustrated. And then the homework videos help get them on the right path, show them how to do it. And then 5, and this is really the most important one, I think, is that it puts the onus of learning on the students. I feel so many times with traditional homeworks, kids, I would ask them about how well they did or sort of the thought process of the homework, and they would just kind of say, I did it. And I would say that, you know, they're kind of zombieing through the homework, almost as if they're like filling out a form, like I did the homework. My goal here is to do the homework, to complete it, not really the learning of what was on it. With the homework videos, and really the homework quizzes are what emphasize this, is that students know you have to know this stuff because you're going to have a quiz on it. So it can change their attitude completely towards doing the homework when it's less, I need to get this done, and more, I need to understand this. What did I get wrong? I need to understand how to do this because I'm going to have a quiz on it tomorrow. So that has really been beneficial. And to expand this out, the homework videos can really, it can work for many different subject areas, and you can adjust it for the level of student that you have, or the grade, or the course that you're teaching. There are some other teachers in my school who've picked up on this, some math teachers, and they do a very different system than I do. They're using homework videos, but they have different populations of students, and they use them in different ways. They come up with their own system, so it is really, you can tailor it to your class, your style, your homeworks, and the level of your students.
And I see great potential in it, and I've seen great change in my teaching, the students learning in my class, and the whole overall classroom experience that's been really positive. So I look forward to homework videos really being a thing in the future, a great use of technology.